Welcome in, everybody. It's the Denver Bronco Roundup. It's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, man. We're in here every Tuesday, every Friday. Appreciate you all joining in. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Of course, we're sponsored by Morgan Trinkets as well. And guys, it's a fantastic evening. It's like I said, right before the show, right before we got on backstage, man. It's time to decompress, man. Have a few conversations about the Broncos. We've been so wrapped up in all the stats and statistics and rankings and grades and you name it. Wanted to jump in here, just have a little conversation, maybe hit the mailbag, i.e. a little potpourri, i.e. it's all about you guys jumping in the comments and being part of the show. Let's all say a little bit of a hello, including I'm going to say a hello again, or a little introduction, but let's start off with a mile. Hi, Albert, Dutchy, the one and only. How we doing, sir? Welcome in this evening. Say hello.
It's a wonderful evening tonight. Here in the background, you might hear some noise because we have a little bit birthday party here. So if you hear something, I'm sorry about that. But the party must go on, and so the show must go on here as well. So yeah, it's a really good day. It's a wonderful day today. We had so many days of rain, and today it was full of sunshine. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Beautiful day at the Knopper's house, inside and out, man. It's good to see you, buddy. It's always good to sit down, have a conversation with you, have a conversation with the posse, have a conversation with the Rocket Man. Mr. Trevor Salzman. How you doing, sir?
Oh, doing well, Keith. Wasn't doing well last night, I should say, because this will be the only time I bring up the Nuggets. But, man, what a disappointing game. And, a lot to talk about. Maybe I'll throw my frustrations out there tomorrow on Kenny's show, the K&K Sports Show, about the Nuggets. But, no, I mean, again, it's time to talk a little bit of Broncos and kind of get away from the Nuggets a little bit, kind of take some time to decompress. I don't play again until Friday. So take some time to decompress, talk Broncos, and hope for the future, right? I mean, that's, again, a lot of our Denver Broncos' future rests in the hands of one Sean Payton. So eager to get into it and excited for the show tonight.
Absolutely, bud. I agree, man. Hey, that for all of you Nuggets fans, us Broncos fans went up against Miami last year, and kind of felt similar, I think, as far as that was concerned. At no point, even at halftime, did you feel like you had a chance of getting back into that game, and that's kind of how it felt for the Nuggets. It's how it felt for us as Broncos fans. But yeah, we're in here having a great conversation. What I wanted to just start off with is the amazing community we have. I want to say hello to a couple of people in the chat, and that's Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. He's saying it's time for the main event mafia. Let's go DBR. Absolutely. And then Mr. Kurt Valente saying, boys, the bad times as a Broncos fan are over. The Bo Nix era is here. Let's get ready to enjoy. I bring those two names up first and foremost because they are part of the fantastic K&K Sports Show. If you didn't catch the amazing draft show that we put on, the Pick Is In draft show, they were not only an integral part, they were our partners. They put a lot of planning and a lot of effort and a lot of work, especially Kenny over there at the K&K Sports Show. We love the K&K Sports Show. They have a plethora of shows, guys, including that Wednesday Let's Talk Broncos that you need to be tuning into. Check out the K&K Sports Show. Good family. Good family. For any of you who might have been checking out some Broncos podcasts last night, I was on the MHH podcast with Chad Jensen, Zach Kelberman, Zach Kelberman. And, man, just talk about great guys. Supporters of us had me talking about our show on there, brought up Dutchy right off the bat and said, how's Dutchy doing, man? Hope he's doing well. Like I said, just a fantastic community. Like I said to them, they're in a lot of ways they're I don't know, they're someone to look up to, someone that I'm somewhat inspired by. They kind of brought me into the whole idea of podcasting, so it's great to be on their show and check out all the MHH guys. Like he said, the nice thing is you can roll their show right into our show on Tuesdays and on Fridays and have a fantastic evening talking Broncos. So check those guys out as well. So got to talk to a few more people in the posse, though, because they're coming in hard and heavy, man. Appreciate it. Joy's coming in over on Facebook saying, good evening, everyone. A good evening to you. And I always say Joy, and then I look at it and it's Jay. I swear it changes from when I see it over in the chat to when I put it on screen. Jay, I'm so sorry. Good to see you, Jay. Michael Ronquillo is coming in saying good evening, Keith, Albert, and Trevor as well. Of course, those orange and blue hearts clapping it up. Appreciate you very much. Who else we got in here? We got Sean Ward coming in here, and we appreciate Sean. Sean's been coming in here from Texas week after week, show after show. So good evening, guys. Good evening to you. Hashtag South Texas Love. Good to hear you and good to see it. What else we got going on in here? Anybody else that we'd love to see? There's lots of love going around in between everybody. We got our good friend Roy Osborne saying good evening, Keith and Albert and Trevor and all of the posse. That's you guys over there in the chat. We appreciate you guys a ton. Carl's coming in. Carl Dumler, speaking of those MHH guys, good to see you all. Hope all is well. Have a great show. Appreciate you, Carl. Hope you enjoy it. And I always enjoy seeing you when I can. It seems like my schedule just never lines up with your show very well, but I always enjoy it when I can check out a Carl Dumler on the MHH. So we also have, make sure I'll get up on the screen so it's a little bit. Kaleon Green coming in and saying, gents. Hello, Kaleon. Gents to you as well. Appreciate it. Cheers. Top of the day to you. No, gentlemen, I figured we'd just come in here, have a little bit of conversation. I started talking about kind of like a mailbag type of segment, and I figured if we didn't have any questions right off the top, I'm gonna kick it off, guys. And I want you guys, and Posse included, I'm gonna start off with Albert on this. Albert, if you were going to send a love letter to anybody in the Denver Broncos organization, who would you be sending the love letter to? What player, what coach, what owner, and what would it say?
So first and foremost, the first one, if it is the Denver population, I would send it, of course, to my wife, because he is the one that supports me and does all of this. So the first one would ever go to her.
Very good. But 2 letters get to go out in an opera house then.
Absolutely, 2 letters. So the second one would go to Peyton Manning, because of him, I became a Denver Bronco fan.
Nice.
I can relate to him a lot. I had a neck injury that I needed surgery on. He had one. He had the plantar fasciitis. I have 2 of those. So I have all kinds of injuries, but keep on going, and have a great sense of humor about it. I heard something about roasted with Tom Brady, and guess what? Who made he the fool of? One of the goats greatest of all times, Tom Brady.
Yep.
And that is what I like about Peyton Manning. He has a big heart about football, but he also has a great sense of humor. So that would be my second love letter.
Very good. Love letter goes out from Albert Knoppers out to Peyton Manning. Hey, it's the guy who started the love of football, the love of the Denver Broncos for Albert. Can't say anything bad about that at all, man. I was thinking roster the whole 9 yards, but I like the way you took that, buddy. I like the way you took that. Trevor, sending out a love letter today, man. Is it is it a secret admirer? Who is it to? And what's it say, buddy?
I think mine would have to go out to Justin Simmons. I think that this is a guy. Listen, hasn't been on the roster for a couple months now. He's still a free agent and he's looking for a home. But guess what, guys? He's still in Denver. He's still supporting the Denver Nuggets and at the games. I think that's absolutely awesome of Justin Simmons. This guy is a Denver guy through and through. He's proven that since he showed up from day one when he was drafted. So for me, it'd have to be Justin Simmons. And I know there's a lot of people that want Justin Simmons back in a Denver Bronco uniform, but unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen. But Justin Simmons, I would love to see him here if it could work out. Just because he's a Denver guy through and through, and a Colorado guy, and he's just such a lot of amazing work for the Denver Bronco community and the Denver metro area community, and I'm sure Colorado in general. So that would have to be my love letter. Just a big thank you and much love to Justin Simmons for what he's done, both on and off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I already told you, man. Justin Simmons flag, by the way, is going to be going out as part of our giveaways that I had signed. and it'll be going out here pretty soon. But I had a second piece that I've been waiting on that I want to send with that, by the way. But like I said, if Justin Simmons is your hero, and they say never meet your heroes, I still say go meet Justin Simmons. It's the type of guy he is. There's a few people out there that I think are like that in this world. He's real. He's genuine. He's a stand-up person. What you see as far as what he does in the community and who he is and is not. It's not. There's no fake facade. You know what I mean? That is who that gentleman is, and love Justin Simmons. So I love your answer, I guess. Speaking of love, Michael Ronquillo's reminding us Mother's Day is this Sunday on May 12th, or not this Sunday, but coming up Sunday, May 12th. So keep that in mind as well. Also saying, as you were saying, Justin Simmons was spotted at the Nuggets game yesterday. Carl's coming in and saying, mine would have to be Terrell Davis. First Super Bowl party I ever hosted was Super Bowl 32. Had to copy one of his touchdowns diving into the end zone. So jumped over the couch, not realizing on the other side of the couch was a bowl of chocolate pudding. Landed on it, covered the basement carpet. Love the Broncos ever since, man. And well, now we'll have to figure out what your love for chocolate pudding is like, Carl. I appreciate it though. But yeah, absolutely, man. That's a great story, man. Hosting that first party and the right one to do it, man. The right Super Bowl to do it. And starts off his love. I love that, man. Going through, Jody was wondering, Trevor, if your love letter was going to be going out to Taylor Swift. We weren't sure about that. A lot of inside jokes in that K&K chat room that we have going on the side. Pearl's coming in and saying hello, Pearl. Good to see you, man. Or good to see you. I'm a man type of person. I got to really watch myself. Good to see you, Pearl. Always good to see you. And we'll talk about Pearl here again in just a little bit, but I'll leave that to the side. One right here from Roy Osborne. Mine would have to be Demaryius Thomas, just for elevating the whole room, and was sad to see him go. Yeah. Rest in peace, DT. And you guys are coming up with some tugging of the hearts here. We're at to change the topic here. Peyton Manning was Pearls as well. Loving some Peyton Manning. So got Todd Campbell coming in here waving. Appreciate it. Hello, Todd. Or maybe that was I love you. Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Keith Dutchie and Trevor. Guys, who is the odd man out in the quarterback room? We're not really getting much into that, but I think we can get into it a little bit for Phil. Phil's a fantastic supporter. Trevor, who do you think the odd man or men are out in the quarterback room?
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be Jared Stidham. I think he's a guy that I think is going to get pushed here. Yeah, like again, you look back at what Sean Payton first signed Jared Stidham and the Broncos did. They were pretty high on him, but now he's kind of backed off on that a little bit. He went up there and got Zach Wilson. I don't think it was to push Bo Nix for the starting job. Although if Bo Nix comes in completely unprepared and is not ready to go, then I think that's more of a topic to discuss for sure. But I think for me, it's got to be Jared Stidham. I think it's going to be Stidham and Zach Wilson competing for that quarterback 2 spot right behind Bo Nix. And the Broncos can save a little bit of money by cutting Jared Stidham. So that's a guy I think that is on the hot seat, most importantly here with the getting Zach Wilson here in Denver. I think Jared Stidham would be the guy for me.
Very good, Jared Stidham. And I did a little surfing because Phil's been pretty good about this, dropping a little bit of stars for us. So we appreciate it very much. Phil saw that now. So I'm even happier that we answered this question for you. And Albert's going to take a crack at it as well. Albert, who's the odd man out?
It would be for me. For me, it would be Stidham as well. We have 2 very young guys. One has only played for 2 seasons in NFL. One is just coming back up. Guess what? These 2 guys can be molded to what Sean Payton wants them to be. Mm-hmm. And Jared Stidham is already. We have seen it with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback, but he could not fit. He couldn't fit the system the way Sean Payton wants it to be. So because they are set in their ways, Stidham is like that too, like Russell Wilson. And Ben DiNucci, if you need a really good practice squad quarterback, he is perfect for that. He doesn't cost anything. And Stidham, he will find a different job at somewhere else. And so, yeah, those three Knicks, Zach Wilson, and DiNucci are going to be on the roster.
Keith, I also want to extend a little bit. There's another possibility if they keep Stidham on this roster and he's the third quarterback on this roster, they feel like that, there's no reason to get rid of him right now because he knows that offense, Sean Payton's offense, pretty well. I think there's a chance that Ben DiNucci may land on the practice squad if another team don't sign him. Ben DiNucci could be the quarterback that's out the door, and it could be a quarterback room of Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, and Jarrett Stidham. I think that's also a possibility as well.
Oh, sure. Just cover all the possibilities. And unless you're going to put Bo Nix on the practice squad, you pretty much got everything covered. No, I agree with you. Absolutely. I'm gonna double up with what you just said because I think that's the most likely scenario. I think having Stidham in there, even though I know he's not like the person that you want to mold all your quarterbacks after, right? But it's a guy that's been in the league, hasn't been in chaos like Zach Wilson, and can kind of help that room along a little bit as a veteran. And I just don't see that's a role that Ben DiNucci can hold, right? So if you are looking for a little bit of quote unquote veteran presence in that room, it's not going to come from Zach Wilson. It's not going to come from Bo Nix. And I don't want it coming from, Ben DiNucci for whatever experience he has in the NFL either. I would rather see it come from a Jarrett Stidham. And I think that's the way the Broncos might agree as well. And this is where I was going when I said man or men. There's a possibility that it just subtracts down to two, though, and we have two quarterbacks on the opening day roster as well. So Sean Ward's coming in with those love letters as well. Love letter for Sean is going out to Shannon Sharp. Gotta love some Shannon Sharp. You guys are coming up with great answers. Kurt Valente, the great K&K Sports Show, says, John Elway for me, best quarterback in NFL history. Got us 2 trophies as quarterback and built one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses in NFL history, getting us a trophy number 3. Oh, and yes, got us the sheriff. So there you go, man. Got to line up all the love for that. A little bit of love maybe even from Albert because he lined up the sheriff coming into town. So that being said, I'll go on to a different one. I'll go on to a different question. Oh, I'm going to get Sean's explanation here real quick. Shannon Sharp I followed and was my football inspiration. Played tight end in middle and high school, but really enjoyed watching that guy. I got my first jersey, Reebok Shannon Sharp Hall of Fame edition. Still wear it to this day. Go Broncos. Love it, man.
Who do you send a love letter to?
Well, you guys are all catching me off guard. Like I said, I was all thinking like current people on this roster. So I honestly, if my love letter, I'm going to steal one of yours because we've thrown a few names around. I'm going to steal the idea from Sean. And I'm going to steal one of Dutchy's favorites. I'm going to go with Carl Mecklenburg because when I was in Little League, when I was in junior high, when I was in high school, and I was on the defensive line, and I was loving the Broncos ever since grade school, there was no better Bronco to look up for than that number 77 that Dutchy's donning right there on his shoulder. Mr. Carl Mecklenburg. Just an inspiration, a guy that, as Albert has pointed out numerous times, was able to play everything on the front 7, every single position on the front 7. Doesn't matter anywhere across that front line, any linebacker position, he had it covered. He played it in his heyday. And just to watch him go out there and be that, not only that competitor, but being willing to take that on, and be there for his team in whatever capacity he needed to. Love that mentality. So, whew, boy, make us all cry. How little didn't realize there'd be teardrops on these love letters. So, Kenny, I did like Bill Romanowski. He brought a different type of love to us, but a crazy type of love, I guess. I appreciate the chiming in. I got kind of a producer in the background with Michael taking care of us, saying Facebook stars from both Phil and from Sean. So appreciate you, Sean, as well, dropping stars on us this evening as we continue this conversation and continue to hit the mailbag. I'll go a different direction then. Maybe this will get my conversation back on track to where I thought it was going to go. I'll start off with Trevor this time, man. Who are you going to give a past due notice to? Who are you gonna stick past due notice? Who's past due and needs to pay up right away, buddy?
Ooh. I think it's got to be for me. It's George Payton. My opinion. I think this is a guy that listen. You got to have a big draft. You can't. I don't think George Payton can, and afford to have another draft like we did in 2023. Where these guys are not seeing the field and not being productive enough. You get one guy maybe on special teams that's being productive. I mean, I say maybe he's a Pro Bowler, but that's not what you're drafting Marvin Mims. So George Payton, he's got to have a good draft. He's got to hit on these draft picks. Talk about Sean Payton as well. I don't think Sean Payton has as much pressure on him, but George Payton, it's time to start paying up with that scouting. I mean, this is what the Broncos brought you here to do, was scout at a high level and trust your scouts and pick the best player possible at the positions and improve this roster. And so far, some of these draft picks he's made, they've not panned out very well. Some solid players, of course, but guys like Greg Dulcich has not panned out. Injury concerns there. And as much as I'm a little bit higher on George Payton than a lot of people are. I mean, this draft is huge. It starts this season. I think if they don't hit on this year's draft, I think he's got to be on the hot seat.
Very good, very good. George Payton gets the past due notice from the Rocket, man. I'll pass it up to Albert Mile High Dutchy. Actually, I'll hit a few comments real quick. I know that we're all singing them off to the side, so might as well throw them up there. Kenny's saying Greg Dulcich. That's easy. That's easy for him. It's Greg Dulcich all day long. Tight end that needs to show up, a guy that we invested in, and a guy that, quite honestly, doesn't have a whole lot of competition on this roster. So probably a good one to throw out there. I agree. We got Michael Ronquillo saying Vance Joseph, and Pearl's in agreement with Michael saying VJ for me. So I'm going to pass it up to Albert. Who's getting the past due notice from you to the Denver Bronco?
I will give VJ an how to call it, not an one way out, because he did not have the defensive line last year. So he had to cover areas that he couldn't cover because the D line was not there. So I will give him how do you call it?
A pass.
A pass. But for me, it is Demary Mathis. So he the year before he was excellent, and now last year he could not even put a dent in the ball. So Demary Mathis is one of them. Another one would be Justin Sternard.
Well, you can't you only get to send out one of these. You don't get you're sending them out all over the place, taking up all our answers.
No,
okay, Justin Sternard. All right.
I will leave you one in the offense.
You're gonna. Oh, I got 52. I'm gonna go through, Keith. I'll leave you one. No, I'm just kidding.
So no. But those two.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about Justin Sternard, because I agree with you. I can see where you're going there. Talk about Mathis and then Sternard.
Yeah, with Sternard, if you are not there, how can you even play? And you are supposed to be playing there. You were supposed to be taking care of Justin Simmons and be there with Justin Simmons. And guess what? You were not. Now Justin Simmons is no longer there. He is past due. So he has to step up and, if not, after OTAs, if he is not doing well, be gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand that. Mathis, this is a guy that I said I think deserves a second chance, but needs to take advantage of that second chance. So I'm not going to disagree with you there. I'll go a little bit different direction, because this is a guy that I honestly had high hopes on. And quite honestly, a lot of people thought he would be a casualty at some point. And it's a guy that's not even talked about all that much. And I'm going to talk about DJ Jones. For DJ Jones, man, it's past due. We brought you in from San Francisco. You were supposed to be that guy up front. Now we've had to bring in Blackson. Now we've had to bring in Roach. Now we've had to bring in maybe even Franklin that might slide inside to that position at times. If you're still on this roster, if you're still one of these 53 guys going out there, we're past due, man. I need to see you show up and pay your bills, man. Pay your bills and get out there. A few more coming in. Phil McLaughlin's coming in with a past due notice for Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey. Now, if you talk about the money that was paid, we certainly didn't get the immediate impact that we were expecting, but did start to come around a little bit at the end. I think a lot of people have been pointing towards that, so we'll see, man. He's late. He's late on his payments. I'll say that we didn't get everything we paid for last year. I think he's a little bit behind. So yeah, I think maybe a past due. Roy's agreeing with Mr. Dutchy here, saying Caden as well. Pearl saying, I don't even know if DJ is going to make it. She says DJ might be cut, I feel. So that's certainly a possibility with the depth that we have at that position, with the amount of people we put in that room. There's going to be some decisions to be made. So that's the past.
By the way, so it takes me back to the whole George Payton thing. DJ Jones, Caden Stearns, Greg Dulcich. Who brought those guys in?
Mm-hmm.
George Payton.
Past due, baby.
Yep.
Payton is a little bit past due on some of these guys, right?
Yeah.
A little past due. That's good call out, buddy. Good call out. Heck, if we had the judge here, you'd be one of the arguing attorneys right there, buddy, making his argument, stating his case.
And I also want to give McClinchy a pass, because a lot of his play was because of the scheming. McClinchy, we knew he was not a pass defender, and what did we do? We had a lot of Russell Wilson breaking out and doing passing stuff. So I think that is what was a big part of the McClinchy problems as well. So they picked it up a little bit later in the game, like you said. So I'm going to give McClinchy a pass.
Roy's comment. Like I said, I was giving him a pass as well. I think he started coming on a little bit later. Guys, if you go back, I was there at training camp when all of a sudden he wasn't there and he had a death in the family. That means a guy that we just brought in was late coming into camp and was trying to catch up and trying to get on pace. So I kind of expected when he came in the beginning of last year that he would probably have a few rough patches. It's just the way it goes. You can't get up to speed as quick as you'd like to. Simple as that. So, and I think he was struggling with things, even though he was back, right? Mind wasn't 100% checked in. You could kind of see that. Things you don't talk about because Sean Payton comes grabbing your phone out of your hand at the training camp if you start talking about things like that. But maybe I can talk about him a year removed now. A few more coming in. Scoops. If you guys don't know Scoops, not only is he over on that fantastic K&K Sports Show, he's got this amazing show, What the Scoops, and brings on a plethora of guests. In fact, I think somebody won a guest show on to What's the Scoops. That'd be Mr. Dutchy. He's gonna have to line that up if I remember correctly. And heck, we had Nicole, the NHL nut, on there just the other night. Check out Scoops over on K&K Sports Show, and believe me, once you do, you won't be able to get enough of them. And don't worry, you can swing on over here to the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and he's got a fantastic show called Settle the Scores. Get you all set up as far as your Colorado Rockies are concerned as well, man. And that goes on 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. But he says, past due, mine is who mine is, and that's Sean Payton. So he's already up on Sean Payton as far as a past due in season 2, man. Short leash. Phil's coming in agreeing, saying, good point, Dutchy. And Phil saying, great show last night, Keith, on MHH. Well, I appreciate that, Phil. I appreciate you checking me out here, checking me out there. And yeah, it was a great show, hanging out with Zach and hanging out with Chad. They are fantastic guys. So what else do we got? So let's move it along. Let's see. Let's go, Dutchy. Be prepared for 60 minutes of Alexander Madison talk on that. What's the Scoops? That's a little warning from Kenny Kirkpatrick, by the way. So I'm going to move it on to another topic. We'll go a little bit more on the positive side. We'll start back around with Albert. Albert, you get to send out a refund check. Because this person has overperformed, has done better than expected. We owe them some money, man. They are outperforming everything that you could possibly dream of. Please give that man his money. Who are you giving the money to, buddy? Who's the refund check going out to?
And for me, that would be very, very simple. He also wears number 77. Kyle Mecklenburg should have gotten a refund or be in the Hall of Fame already for many years. But Quinn Miners, that he got snubbed from being a Pro Bowler, the number 3 guard in NFL. I think, yeah, he is going to get paid, and he's going to get paid very well. That will happen sooner than later. So yeah, he definitely deserves it because he was the highlight of the offensive line last year. What he does and how he plays, it it, it is so inspiring for so many other people. And I know for a lot of people they cannot even touch what he is doing. But yeah, I am all for Quinn Miners. Give him the paycheck.
I love it, man. Give him that refund check. He's outperforming, man. I'll be honest. I'm gonna have to start really racking my brain because you've already stolen mine, Dutchy. Thanks a lot, man. I'll just have to double up. I'm not really sure. I'll see what I can come up with. But first, I want to go to Trevor, see what he came up with as far as that refund check. Anybody deserving a refund check out here for the Broncos?
Man, that's the thing. There's not a lot of guys that have. That's the difficult part. But I do agree. Quinn Miners is definitely one of my probably top of my list actually as far as a guy that just deserves to get paid. But I'm going to the defense side of the ball. PS2 Pat Surtain. I mean, this is a guy that again. I think in the right scheme and right system, I think this is a guy who could be a number 1 corner. Denver didn't trade him in the draft. They didn't, trade Pat Surtain to go up and get their franchise quarterback. They got their franchise quarterback, and they got to keep Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain for me deserves to get paid. I think it's something that I think will get done here probably pretty soon. I think training camp is a time to watch out for a PS2 extension, as it should be. This guy's a guy that very talented, hasn't even hit his prime yet. 23 years old. I mean, very very young. I think he's got a ton of upside to be one of the best corners in the NFL. So PS2 for me.
Yep, and this one's I think a lot tougher for everybody. Even though we've had a lot of people chiming in, a little bit more quiet in the chat this time, and I can understand. Quinn Miners is the standout by far. Like I said, Dutchy, you took the words right out of my mouth. I threw it over to you. I should have kept it for myself. That's all right.
You can start too.
Yeah, no, number 77 up there up front, holding down the fort, helping out everybody along that offensive line, especially on that right side. Anything from center over, Miners was taking care of it, and yeah, Quinn Miners is that guy for most, including Michael Ronquillo, who's coming in, and Pearl's over there agreeing with Trevor, saying PS2. I'll go off script. I think there's enough love to go around, enough money that we could maybe send back. Maybe we could cut a small little refund check to Alex Singleton, because Alex Singleton is that guy for the last couple of years, been leading us in tackles. He flies all over the field. He's dynamic. He's the one linebacker that we can say can go out there and make some dynamic plays for us. We'll see what this year brings as we trade out Josie Jewell for somebody new. See if where all expectations, by the way, Broncos country is it'll be someone who can better cover those linebackers, but may not give us the run defense that we were expecting. That'll have to all happen up front. But that being said, I'm going to give a little bit of a refund check and a little bit of love and respect to, by the way, former Montana State University linebacker Alex Singleton, now playing for the Denver Broncos. So that's who I'm going to go out to.
There's another, I think, dark horse candidate here, in my opinion. I just thought of that.
Okay.
Maybe in this category a little bit. We talked about in this offseason about the Broncos maybe needing to renegotiate a contract with them, but I think it's Garrett Bowles possibly. This is guy again. I mean, left tackle. I think that he's probably easily your second to third best offensive lineman on this roster right now, in my opinion. So left tackle, I don't think it's something that's an easy position to handle, and I think he's handled that pretty well. So a guy like Garrett Bowles, I think should at least be considered in this. Now, is he a top 5 tackle? No, he's not, but I think he's top 15 tackle. So that's pretty solid for a guy like Bo Nix to walk into and have that on that side of the ball and left side of the ball and on the offensive line. And I think Garrett Bowles just shown a lot of grit and grind. I think just being still here in Denver from the 2017 class, first round pick. A guy that maybe Denver does lock up. I know he's a little bit older, but left tackles don't just grow on trees. So you got to pick the right time, just like quarterback. Got to pick the right time to pick one if you're going to go in that direction.
Love it, buddy. Love it. Yeah, I think that deserves some respect. And Kenny of the K&K Sports Show coming in on Facebook saying, all joking aside, Javonte Williams, for him to come back from that injury as fast as he did, I'm calling him for him to have an all-pro type season. Yeah, that refund check could definitely be coming, I think, at the end of this season for Javonte Williams because he's also in a contract year. But now he's a year removed from having to completely come back, go on that wearing long season, 17 games, and try to, rehab and bring himself back. He gets this offseason. He gets to come back. Javonte Williams, we're all hoping that it's Javonte that we can maybe send a little refund check to. Speaking of sending, it's coming soon, Aussie Wombat. I know that I owe you a little bit of a giveaway prize from our draft show, the Pick Is In draft show that we did with the K&K. But Aussie Wombat's coming in saying, hi, all, how are we today? So who knows what time it is over there in Western Australia. I always have trouble with the calculations. My guess is it's probably the middle of the afternoon. So hello, Aussie. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. And I'm going to get to a few more comments here in a little bit. I may read them off to the side. But first, guys, gals, everyone that's jumping in, being a part of this fantastic show tonight, I need to tell you about Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets is our fantastic sponsor here on the Denver Bronco Roundup and Rocky Mountain Sports Network for that matter. If you're looking for Southwest jewelry, Southwest pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices, this is the spot for you. With over 33 years experience, guys, they are your headquarters. Once nationwide, now they just focus on Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming. They hit numerous shows. Look for them and check them out on Facebook. That's the easiest way to find out where they're going to be heading next, where you can catch them and what shows they have coming up. I was just dropping that link in the comments as we speak. Guys, gals, again, all their gold, real gold, 10, 14, 18 karat gold, or 14, 18, 10, 14, 18 karat gold. I'm sorry. All their silver, all sterling silver, all shipping is free if you spend over $50. They transact right there on Facebook through PayPal. And if you catch them at one of those shows, you can transact with, any major credit card. So check out Morgan Trinkets today. That's Morgan Trinkets over on Facebook for all your Southwest jewelry, pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices. So just had to jump that in. Like I said, Pearl, if you all don't know, is the fantastic owner of Morgan Trinkets and have just been putting up amazing pieces as of lately. That she loves blue, guys. If you go over to her Facebook page, you'll see a theme. But some lovely jewelry, and been talking about all the friends, Denver Bronco Roundup friends that have been stopping in, saying hi, and been visiting her at shows and on our website. So we appreciate, or on our Facebook page. So we appreciate that, everybody. So Aussie Wombat's giving a big thumbs up. Pearl's laughing at me. So probably something I said in there. Sorry about that. So that being said, check out Pearl. We appreciate it. What else? Blue is the best color, according to Graham. Let's go a little bit different, maybe darker way to go. I want to start off with Trevor on this one. Trevor, you're sending out a ransom note. You're I guess the best way to say it is, I guess you're kind of sending a threat, but maybe you don't want to sign your name to it. Who are you sending a ransom note out to on this Denver Broncos?
See, for me, and again, some of our fans have been watching for a little while. They probably know this one isn't going to be too tough for me. But for me, it's Sean Payton. I think, you got to get it right. You got your quarterback now. No excuses. Russell Wilson's no longer in the building. Russell Wilson's not a problem right now. So, for the Broncos at least. So, it's got to be Sean Payton. This is the quarterback you wanted. Bo Nix, you took him at 12. This is your roster. We've seen a lot of guys come from the Saints and just come in and you know that Sean Payton's going to have something to say about it. So for me, it's Sean Payton easily. I think here, got to see some progression with this roster. Do I expect playoffs this year? No, but year 3, you better be ready to compete for the playoffs because that's when I think the hot seat starts is in year 3. It's in year 2. He's got a rookie quarterback, so I know that I don't expect playoffs this year from this team. What I do expect is progression, and I think going into year 3. So I think year 3, that's when you have to step it up even more so, because if you're not and you're going backwards, or you're staying the same, you're not progressing at all, it could really cost you your job. So for me, it's Sean Payton here.
Yeah, I know a lot of these are going to like double over, so we had to maybe start thinking outside the box. But I understand, man. It's time to start moving in the right direction. Scoops was right in agreement with you, and that's why that same, rang a bell off of my head on that past due notice. He's also here on the ransom note, Scoops, for sending that out to Sean Payton. Albert, you sending it out to somebody different? Who are you sending a low-level threat to, but maybe not wanting to sign your name at the same time? Who needs to be threatened a little bit, I guess?
For me, it would be John Elway, because he has put us in such a dilemma for the last many years, trying to have a Band-Aid for this, trying to have a Band-Aid for this, and refusing to do the proper thing. And I think that's where it all started for us, having such a lack of playoffs. If he would have pursued it, we could have gotten that head coach from the 49ers. We could have gotten that. Kyle Shanahan. We could have gotten that. So for me, it is John Elway, and this would be my ransom. All supporters of the Denver Broncos, go to his steakhouse and get a free steak.
Oh, that's the ransom. I like it. I like it. Everyone gets a free steak at John Elway's Steakhouse. You pay the price, buddy. I love it. We have Aussie Wombat. You just had a question. He said, talking about QBs, don't we have 5 in at the moment? So, as Graham says, Stidham, Nix, DiNucci, the undrafted free agent, Mochka. Yeah. I'm going to mess up his name, but I realized I was saying it wrong this entire time, and I thought I was saying it right. And then also, as Aussie says, we also have Zach Wilson as well. So yeah, that's our 5 if you're wanting to count. Not so much an undrafted free agent, but a guy that was brought in for a visit, which is completely different. He's been brought in for a tryout. I'm sorry, not a visit, but a tryout, which is not an undrafted free agent. Most of the time, you're actually signing those guys to a contract. There is usually a little bit of money involved. This is just a tryout. Coming on down here, throw the ball around. Let's see what we got going on. And that should actually be happening over the next few days. And I believe the 10th is when rookie minicamp kicks off as well. So just around the corner on that as well. And Pearl's expressing her love for John M. And if you haven't went out there and checked out John Mochka, I'll just say it that way for now, at the Colorado School of Mines, go check out a little bit of video on him. He's worth a watch. I agree. Man, who am I sending this ransom note to? That's a good question, man. For me, maybe it's a Ben Powers for me. I'm thinking I'm on the player type of role, and as some people were lighting up Mike McGlinchey as far as maybe the past due notice, Ben Powers didn't come on at the end of the year, didn't end up playing better, as the season went along, and played on the inside right next to, Lloyd Cushenberry, who went out and got a great big old paycheck, and Garrett Bowles that Trevor was just talking about, saying needs an extension, and Quinn Miners alongside Lloyd. He was, as far as the inside of that offensive line, he was the weakest link. Goodbye. Yeah, I think that's who I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send that out to. I'm going to send it out to one Ben Powers. He needs to feel a little bit threatened in his position on this offensive line to step up this season and be that guy that can both be a run blocker and a pass protector right there, dead center in the line. he's going to have to help that new center that's coming along, like an Alex Forsythe as well. So,
Can I?
Gotta go ahead.
No, I was gonna say maybe an honorable mention, or maybe a guy that some other people had. I think Vance Joseph would fit this bill pretty well as well. Brought in a guy like Jim Leonard. This is a guy that's, again, he's had defensive background. He was a DC at Wisconsin in 2017. So I think Vance Joseph would fit the bill here. Just like kind of, I think this is VJ's year where he's got to step up to the table and deliver with that defense. You have more talent this year. It's kind of the same thing with Sean Payton. There's no more excuses for Vance Joseph either. I mean, he's got the players that he needs, on the defensive line, got better there. Just got better, I think, overall wise on the defense side of the ball anyway. So no more excuses for VJ. I mean, he's got to get it right this year, or I think there's going to be a little bit of a short leash, I think, for VJ if things go sideways.
That's true, man. A guy that also was looked at for those past due notices, right? No love letters for Vance Joseph. Anybody, huh? No love letters? No.
Are you surprised?
Phil's coming in with a ransom note heading out to George Payton, I imagine. Similar thought process, a guy, again, that, maybe needs a little bit of threatening outside of, top first-round picks, and we'll see what this top first-round pick pans out to be. It's really easy to pick up guys like PS2 sometimes, when they're staring you in the face. It's a little bit tougher when it comes to free agency and bringing in Randy Gregory and Frank Clark, and living with that egg on your face for a little while, just as an example. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that need to pan out for George Payton, whether it's these guys coming in and working out and being from a free agent standpoint, or whether it's these guys being drafted sometimes. We need to see some work. I will say, I think I'm going to defer some of that to Sean Payton, especially when it was that draft class from last year being held back and not seeing the field. Doesn't feel like that was a George Payton thing saying, hey, hold these guys back. I don't think you should put them on the field yet, Sean. I think that's something that we definitely need to see from Sean Payton this year is that development of those draft classes coming in. So, boy, this has been fun, man. We're about 10 minutes left, so we have a little bit of time here. I'm just going to go around. Albert, is there any other letters you can think of that you would like to send out to any other Broncos people, players? We can even double up. We can talk about love letters. We can talk about another one I was thinking about is maybe someone needs to show up to jury duty, answer to the public a little bit. We could do that one as well. But Albert, any other letters you want to send out?
Yeah, who do you want to send a prank letter to?
Oh, a little maybe this is not so much a letter as the bag of dog poo that's been left on the doorstep, with the ding dong, who you leaving a little prank for, yeah, absolutely. I like that. Who would I'll leave the prank for I'll leave for Sean Payton. And this is why, man. I would like I would like him to have a little bit of his defenses brought down, a little bit of humor brought into his life. Maybe it could translate to Broncos country as he has it on lockdown, 24/7. No news comes out. We don't get to see anybody. There's no introduction to any of our new players, whether they be free agents or anything. We get a picture of them signing a piece of paper. That's about all we get. Everybody is scrambling around Denver right now just for the rookie mini camp, because this is the only time they get to talk to him. If you don't get to talk to him now, you don't get anything. So I think he needs to just let his guard down a little bit. Maybe have a laugh. And I don't know if the steaming or the flaming dog of paper bag of a dog poo on his doorstep is going to do it, but maybe he can go ahead and he can laugh at himself and realize he can let his guard down a little bit. That's what I would like. That's who it's going to. A good question, Albert. Trevor, who you pranking?
Ooh, I mean, usually don't prank your boss, but I think that I would. Greg Penner. I think Sean Payton has a long enough leash. I think he could prank. You can get away with pranking Greg Penner, just because with Greg Penner. I mean, again, you've had so much. You've really, when he came here to Denver, I mean, you were expecting high There's high expectations coming in here with Russell Wilson, of course, and just did not pan out. So there's been a lot of frowning, I think, on Greg Penner's face. So he'd be a guy that I would love to smile a little bit more. I mean, there hasn't been too many smiles since they became owners here in Denver. So I would like to Frank the Boss, I guess, per se. I know I don't. By the way, I don't really encourage that for most cases, but if you don't have a long leash and I mean that's your owner and he's willing to stick by you, a little bit of laughter on your face for Greg Penner. I think that's what that ownership group needs. They've been through a lot, so that would be my little prank on Greg Penner. What prank it would be, I'm not sure. I guess don't want to don't go too far with the prank, but definitely you definitely I think you can get away with pranking him just a little bit.
There you go. I love it. Roy's coming in with a prank for George Payton, so maybe he deserves a little bit of a prank. I think a few people would like to leave that bag of on fire on his doorstep. Albert, I want to get your thoughts, man. What great question. I love this one. This is pretty good. So who you pranking, buddy?
I would prank the guys that's painting the field. And for example, all the numbers have to be in mirrors because nowadays we're gonna show it only from the top, and everything has to be in mirrors. I want to see if they put everything in mirrors. in mirror writing.
Mirror writing. I got you. I got you what you're talking about, buddy. I love it, man. Prank the grounds crew, man. Yep. We're going to orange and blue grass this week, guys. Make sure it's all painted up and ready to go. So I love it. I love it. I love it. The greatest prankster was Manning. Yeah, he was a prankster back in the day. He used to pull some good ones. I loved it. His I'm not sure if his teammates appreciated it always, but yeah, he was a prankster, and that's kind of what I was talking about when it came to Sean Payton guy. So here's Peyton Manning, man, a guy that was also as dialed in could be. Didn't matter if it was practice, didn't matter if it was the game. This guy, when it came time to work, it was time to work. But having that little bit of relaxing, right? Not just when you have a couple too many cappuccinos with your best friend, but everybody, right? Everybody in the media. Don't cuss out the media, guys, and basically say they had a terrible question. Go ahead and it's okay. It's okay. Relax just a little bit. Love to be able to get in. Maybe the only way we do it is if we get hard knocks. I don't know. That's just still a possibility flying around out there. So,
man.
Yeah, Vaughn was a prankster as well. Absolutely. And Victor Muniz. I'll just say Victor. Munoz. Thank you. I don't know why I'm having trouble this evening, but saying better Bo, leave it. I love it, man. I love it. What I also love is that we don't already have Bo Nix on a scoreboard saying that. I think that's going to be a little bit different quarterback experience than what we've had in years past. And I'm going to round it up with this, guys. We have just a few more minutes. When I was on, and why I wanted to kind of just have a conversation tonight, get out of the stats, the whole 9 yards. I was asked a fantastic question over on MHH by Zach. Because he asked me first what my initial reaction to Bo Nix was, which I went back. I even rewatched our draft show. My initial reaction was, I think we could have traded back, still being able to get Bo Nix. And I wasn't really excited about the pick. I remember Albert was definitely not in love with the pick right off the bat. He was not doing backflips. Didn't see that on the screen during the Pick Is In draft show. And as we circled back around, he says, well, what do you think now? And I'm like, oh, I love it. It's these are all the reasons I love Bo Nix. He's like, so why the change? Why the change of heart? And it got me really thinking about just Broncos country in general. Broncos country, we've been through some rough years. And I think we've, because of all the quarterbacks, all the coaches, Albert was sending threatening letters to John Elway because of the position that he put us in, right? All these different things that have happened over time, and for such a long time, I think we're nervous. We're anxious. We don't want to get excited for success. we don't even want to. I didn't even want to take that quarterback at 12 because what if it doesn't work out? No, take something safer. Take the tight end. Take the edge rusher. Take something different, right? I'm glad that we went out there. We need to have some confidence in our team again. We need to go ahead and we need to back them, support them. Sean Payton's got his guy. You better believe it right now. And he's going to go out there and he's going to be the quarterback week 1. I believe it. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to finally turn the page. Believe it. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and let's get behind this team and let's have a fantastic season. Let's have a great off season first, right? We'll be covering you all off season, but yeah, I think I was just a little nervous. I didn't have the confidence. I was anxious about what that meant if we took a quarterback, regardless of the quarterback. I don't think if Caleb Williams would have fell to us at 12, if I would have been excited in the moment because of where I was at. So that's kind of what I just wanted to end with. I'll say some final goodbyes and everything, but guys, I just want to get your 2 cents maybe on that or your 2 cents as we're kind of getting out of this mailbag Tuesday night. Trevor, I'll start with you, buddy.
Yeah, for me, Bo Nix was a guy I always thought fit Denver's scheme and would fit Sean Payton pretty well. Just watching tape on him, and I'd take a little bit of a closer look up to him, with the numbers and analytics, and also watching tape on him. I just didn't know if it was going to happen at 12, but I also didn't think that Michael Penix was going to go to Atlanta. So, and I don't think the Broncos did either. I don't think anybody did. So credit to Atlanta for doing that, taking Penix when they didn't have to, and everyone thought they wouldn't. So, but that 12, 15, you got your franchise quarterback that you can sit behind. We'll see how much of a franchise quarterback he's actually going to be. Of course, he's got to still play, and he's got to see the field and be productive. But what looks to be like the Denver Broncos' next franchise quarterback in Bo Nix, I think it's exciting. You finally drafted a quarterback in the first round since Paxton Lynch. You haven't done that, so in 2016. So it's great that the Broncos finally did that, and you have a head coach that has won a Super Bowl before. He's worked with quarterbacks. He's pretty dang good when it comes to working with quarterbacks. Worked with Jameis Winston. Got the best he could out of him. And Jameis Winston's a backup in Chicago now. So I mean, it's one of those things where you can finally start getting behind this team when you get your quarterback and a guy like Bo Nix, and that's just I think that's very satisfying for everybody. Satisfying for me as well. And I'm absolutely looking forward to it. But is this our final thoughts, Keith? As we're rounding out?
Yeah. I'll let you guys get your final thoughts in as we kind of round out. It's about that time, and we'll put a cap on it on the end. How's that, buddy?
Yep, sounds good. So again, I just want to appreciate everybody in the posse tonight. You guys were absolutely fantastic. Great to see everyone once again for another fantastic episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup. Every Tuesday night you can catch us. You can catch us again on Friday. Going to be a great show on Friday as well, but it's a great show tonight. We just want to thank two co-hosts as well for being here and for being fantastic. They always are. Still missing you, Jody. I hope all is well, man. And can't wait to get you back here on camera very, very soon. But just want to appreciate the posse, send nothing but respect and love to you guys. You guys are the reason we keep doing this, and having you guys support, it means the world to us. So I can't thank you guys enough, and can't thank you guys enough for support in general. Draft show, the DBR show, Rocky show. Regardless, you guys are coming here and supporting us regardless, and I really appreciate you guys and all your amazing questions as always and comments. So just can't wait to see you guys on Friday, and thank you guys for everything. Go Broncos!
Love it, buddy. Love it. We do love all the support, and we love everybody on the screen, man. At least I do. I love coming in here on Tuesday, hanging out with Trevor, and obviously hanging out with Albert as well. So we'll pass it over to him and let him say some final goodbyes. Victor, by the way, saying Emilio Estevez should be in attendance as we are now Ducks are in Denver. So I appreciate the reference to the Mighty Ducks. But Albert, I'll hit Phil's comment as he put in here as well before I get out of here. But if you want to talk about it as well, we got a lot of different thank yous coming around, but I wanted to give you the floor. Say goodnight, sir.
Yeah, it was an amazing show again. We had such great participation in the chat from the posse, and which is always fantastic. I really like these type of shows that we have random things going on. and that is very, very fun. And also the participation, the comments that we get, it makes our life so much easier. So here are my thank yous for Kenny, Jay, Michael, Kurt, and here are several names I have not seen before in our chat, but I've seen before: John Ward, Carl Demler, Kalian Green, Todd Campbell. Those are all new faces for me, or new names for me in this podcast, but I've seen them before. Roy, Pearl, Jody, Scoop, Phil, Graham, Arcee, Everything Broncos podcast, the Kenny K Sports Show, Victor. Hey guys, even although the K Sports Show, Mile High Huddle, there are our colleagues. They are not our competitors. They are our colleagues, because we have a really, really good relationship with each other, and we can talk to each other. We get tips from each other, and that is what the sport should be all about. There should be no enemies. There should be all friends. It doesn't matter what team you are on. We should always have a good time. And I think the NFL is doing a really good an example of it, because if you look at soccer in Europe, you will not believe what is going on there. And I'm glad that we don't experience that in the NFL. If you go to the stadium, it doesn't matter if you're a Raider fan or a Chiefs fan. If you go out to see the same game, you're among friends. Of course, yeah, you have a little bit smack talking, but that's all it is about. But you go in as friends. And that is what I really love about this sport and about you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, community's strong. Broncos country is strong, man. I tell you what, it's a great support across all the different pods. Great way to point that out. We appreciate all the support that we get through, not only through all the pods, but guys, gals, everybody that's been coming in to the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, to the Denver Bronco Roundup, that has been jumping on board, that have been liking and subscribing. And man, I tell you what, we were talking about it right before we got on. The numbers are jumping, and I guess that's just all that says is you guys love us, and we certainly love you, and we appreciate you guys so very much. Boys and girls, man, it's been a fantastic couple of hour here. I feel like geez, between the draft and everything, hours just run together. But it's only been an hour. I wish I could do more. Wish we could hang out more. We'll be back. We'll be back really soon. We'll be back on Friday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Of course, check out a few different things. Rocky Mountain Sports Network, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on X. You can check us out over there. You can check out me on X. You can check out Trevor over on X. You can message any of us on Facebook. We'd love to go ahead and get in the conversation with all of y'all. Appreciate all the conversations that we end up having. Check out Morgan Trinkets, our amazing, fantastic sponsor for all your Southwest jewelry, pottery, and estate gold at wholesale prices. They're over on Facebook as well. We appreciate it. Hey, check out the K&K Sports Show. You want to talk Broncos? Got a great show going on tomorrow night. Let's talk Broncos. Kurt Valente. Need to check that out. Check out those guys over on MHH. Like I said, community is strong. We love you. We love that you guys are sharing a little bit of time with everybody, whether it be us, whether it be them, whether it be the K&K Sports Show. But guys, gals, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate you all so much. Appreciate everybody that was in the chat. Appreciate the Mile High Dutchie. Appreciate the Rocket Man Salzman. But like I said, we're going to get out of here for tonight. We'll see you again on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Until then, keep your feet in the stirrups, keep your guns in your holsters, and of course, keep the Broncos in your heart. Until next time, we're out of here. Good night, everyone.